Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Efficiency in cooking is truly important. For me, anything that would take me more than 10 minutes to cook is way too long. The ideal time for me to cook a dish is 5 minutes or less. And the question that you might have is that, what can you do in 5 minutes? It turns out that you can do actually quite a lot if you do advanced prepping, if you have all the ingredients available at your fingertips. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to cook a cashew chicken dish with black olive and mushroom in less than 3.5 minutes. Okay, let's go into the kitchen, see how it is done. The main part of the efficiency of my cooking system is advanced prepping. Now, if you like chicken, prepping chicken in advance will save you a lot of time when you cook. When I bring chicken home from the supermarket, I never freeze them the way it is. I usually slice them up in the size that would be perfect for stir fry. I usually freeze them in the 8-ounce portions in the sandwich Ziploc bags. It usually takes about an hour for me to process about 5 to 6 pounds of chicken. I freeze in this flat configuration for two purposes. One is that it is easier for me to store in the freezer, and the next is that because of the increased surface area, make them easier to be thawed out in a bowl of warm water that usually takes only about 10 minutes. You can take a look at these videos for additional details about this prepping approach. Once the chicken is thawed and I put them in a plastic container, I then coat them with cornstarch. Now, I have a video to show you how coating the cornstarch can affect the texture of the chicken by using different level of cornstarch, and you can take a look at this video and get some idea. During the time when the chicken is being thawed, I will gather other ingredients, and one of them is mushrooms. I always have some mushroom prepped. I cut them into thin slices. I then store them in plastic containers. I discovered that by cutting them in slices first, the mushroom actually has longer shelf life. I usually can keep the mushroom in the refrigerator for up to 10 days, still quite usable. For this chicken dish, I'm going to use some canned olive. I only recently started to use olive in stir fry, and I really like them. I love cashews, and I like them both as a snack as well as food ingredients in stir fry. And next, I found some scallions in the refrigerator. I cut them up as soon as I get them back from the store. Scallion is really important that you should prep it in advance. Otherwise, they're going to go bad on you real fast. Even after you cut them up, they do not last for too long, and usually about a week. Okay, let me demonstrate my speed cutting technique. Oh no, that's actually really not the case. I just compressed the action to show you the whole process. For stir fry, I always use canola oil. I choose canola oil because of its economic value as well as its nutritional value. But you can choose many different kinds of cooking oils as long as they have a high smoking point. You can take a look at this video based on my perception of why canola oil is a good choice. The first thing I'm going to do is to fry the cashew nut. Now, this cashew nut is what I would call a snack cashew nut. They have already been roasted, but frying it will give them a little bit more crispiness. Now, it turned out that the best cashew nuts are the one that has never been roasted. For example, the one you buy at health food store. Since I don't have any of those on hand, this cashew nut will do the job. One thing I want you to keep in mind is that you should turn your heat to low or off completely, because you don't want to burn the cashew nut, and they burn really easy. I set the cashew nut aside, and the next step is to fry the chicken. Now, the chicken, in addition to coat it with cornstarch, I also add a touch of my basic seasoning mix. If you want to know more about the components in this seasoning mix, you can take a look at this video. Now, the chicken tend to stick together because of the cornstarch. In fact, it is quite difficult to use the wok spatula to break them apart. I find that the best way to accomplish this task is to use a tong. Actually, it turned out that having a pair of tongs is really useful in situations like this. But if you're going to get a pair of tongs, make sure you get one with long handles. And now the chicken is almost 50% done. It cooked really fast. So the next step is that I'm going to add the mushrooms to the wok. And one thing you notice that after I add the mushroom, the bottom of the wok look almost completely dry. There's no oil at all. The reason is that the mushroom absorb oil readily. The presence of oil during stir fry is really important. So in order to fix this problem, I use my oil squeeze bottle and add more oil to the mushroom. The oil plays critical roles for simple reason is because the oil is what brings the temperature of the food, usually to somewhere between 300 and 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It is at this temperature that flavor molecules are generated on the surface of the food based on a famous chemical reaction known as the Maillard reaction. This temperature is what makes food taste good. Without the oil, it is difficult for food ingredients to maintain that temperature because they will end up being burned. I'm going to next add some white rice cooking wine, but you can add any wine you like. Wine goes really well with mushroom because the mushroom take it up and give them great flavor. And finally, I'm going to add the cashew nut to the. This is then followed by the black olive and then some scallion. And okay, right now we're right at the finish line because I do not want to cook any of these ingredients more than just warming them up to the temperature of the chicken. And then I transfer the contents to a serving plate. As you can see, the whole cooking process is very fast. In fact, it takes just a little bit over 3 minutes. In fact, from the time when we walk into the kitchen and grab some chicken from the freezer to the time we have the dish served on the table is about 15 minutes. So as you can see, through advanced prepping and stir frying, you can create a fairly complex dish in a short amount of time. For me, when it comes to cooking, speed and efficiency is no doubt very important. But the quality of the dish is equally important in terms of flavor as well as nutritional value. First and foremost, I would like to show you that this dish actually contains very little salt. Salt is a threat to our health and it causes many chronic diseases. From a flavor standpoint, too much salt is also not ideal because it will cover up the natural flavor of the ingredients. All of these ingredients in this dish are rich in umami flavor. The cashew nut, the mushroom, and the black olive are all rich in natural flavor. And when they combine together, they create a complex flavor that you can only enjoy if it's not covered up by salt. To me, this complex flavor is very important because when you taste complex flavor, you tend to satiate earlier and you feel greater satisfaction and you tend to eat less. Both my wife and I enjoy chicken, but we do not eat a lot of it. And by mixing it with these ingredients, the vegetables in this dish, the chicken then become a condiment rather than the main ingredient. We all built to actually like meat, but by eating too much meat, not only it is not good for our health, but it's also detrimental to the environment. From my standpoint, this dish is a win-win situation. It's not only it has great flavor, it's also very healthy. So as you can see, you could create dishes that are very efficient, very fast, but at the same time delicious, healthy, and complex. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.